Well, I'm going to get on to this video. I think it's about something that is very pertinent because it's coming up on a 100th anniversary of this event. And there's been a lot of things that have been foretold back in 1917. This is talking about the miracle of the sun, the miracle of Fatima, the appearance of Mary at Fatima. Now, she appeared, let me put it to you this way. I'm not going to give it to you in a religious aspect or coming from that. I'm just going to give you the facts. And this is something, like, there's all these different religions, let me put it this way. There's all these different religions that have, like, this prophet said this prophet said that, and, you know, this was said back at this time and everything. What is interesting, very, very, very interesting about this is this occurred in modern times. It also occurred during the times when we had photography. It's like, if you say this is not true, you're going to have to come up to some other pretty incredible conclusion. So let me get on with the story. But the thing is, I see as interesting, besides this, is that we're coming up on the 100th year anniversary. And there's been a lot of warnings about this deal. I'm going to tell you, a lot of warnings. I'm saying a lot of warnings about this deal because you obviously can see I'm not putting this out in a religious sense, and I'm just going to try to put it out in a common sense type of way. But what happened was Mary appeared to these three children. Here's the names. Here, you call her Lucy, Jacinta, and Francisco is the boy, right? They were young shepherd children with little education. The first time they appeared was, I believe it was May 13th, 1917. And she appeared on the 13th every month. Lucy was the only one that heard what she had to say. The others could only see her. Now, you'd say, well, okay, see, three children were just making something up. You might think that, right? The thing is that the three children, and this is going to get a little more deeper than if you're not familiar with this story. And I am also making some other points about this besides what's written, because I can deduce from just minor hard facts other things that are just conclusions that are like steel. I mean, forget it. I mean, it's just going to be a truism. But I'm not trying to convince anybody of a religion, but there is something coming up in this world. There is no doubt about it. Something interesting. And I'm not playing like, you know, oh, the sky is falling, give me alms. I'm not telling you that kind of stuff, all right? Like some of these other people that I don't like. But let me put it this way. The children were threatened with being boiled in oil and a pot of oil, and that they would be tortured to death if they did not recant their story about, you know, the apparition that they saw. Because there was more and more people coming to the event, because Mary was appearing every month. The first appearance was May 13th, 1917, and she'd appear every month to the three children. And more people were coming with the children. The other people couldn't see Mary, only the three children, and only Lucy of the three children could hear what Mary had to say. Now, I have to tell you that I'm going to go into a little more deeper than this. I've read extensively on this, actually. I'm going to give it to you in a Cliff Notes, basically, what I think is the most important about this, though. The last time she appeared was, Mary, was October 13th, 1917. She said beforehand there would be a miracle. She would perform a miracle. Now, I'm going to show you, this is actually really out of a newspaper. And you could, they took pictures. It wasn't like the, high-tech, 25 megapixel digital photography, but there's actual photos. There were scientists there. There was newspaper reporters, school, university professors, and a lot of people that were like going there to say, I'm going to see this not happen and laugh at all these religious kooks. I'm telling you, that's exactly the way it went down. And what happened was, there was the miracle of the sun. This is like a picture of, what they took. This is the actual article. It's in Portuguese. And, everybody that was a non-believer that was going there to just poke fun at everybody who was a believer, they became believers. The miracle of the sun basically looked like a kaleidoscope. It looked like it was going to crash into the earth. And everybody got scared. They got down on their knees. Everything turned like a yellow, amberish color. I could say more about this, but you probably won't believe it. Maybe I'll tell you in the comments, because I don't want to stretch anybody's belief system here. But it's something that was actually, like, in other words, if you said in the Bible Moses came down from the mountain with the 10 Commandments, and you had photography back then, and that's exactly what was going on here. Basically, it's like the only time it actually ever happened. Where you actually had a miracle like this, and it wasn't just one person saw it, or it was like thousands of years ago. It was in 1917. She stated that the Lord was very offended by, these are the three children again, okay? Lucy, Jacinta, and Fernando. Not in that order, but she said that, Mary said that the Lord was very offended by the sins of mankind, being offended by the sins of mankind. He says that but he has mercy that the war which was going on in World War I, the Great War that everybody's referring to as the war to end all wars, would end soon, and that it did actually end about a year later. And when we signed the armistice was signed actually in November 11th, 1918. So this miracle of the sun actually occurred on October 13th, 1917. Now, she also stated that if the Lord, if you want to, I'm not trying to push you if you want to believe this or not. She also stated that there would be another sign from the heaven. There'd be a bigger war, even than World War I, if mankind did not keep. And now this is just a pictorial of it, like a drawing of what happened, the miracle of the sun. But she said that mankind would not, did not keep sinning and offending the Lord, there would be an even greater war in the future. And I'm giving you the cliff notes on it. That the sign that the next greater war would start if mankind did not stop committing sins against the Lord would be. It would be a sign from the Lord, and we had a borealis, or I forgot how you say that actually, borealis, aurealis, whatever it is, that everybody in the entire world, it was actually an event in 1938, I'm doing this from memory, sorry, I'm pretty tired, but there was an event in 1938 whereby you could see a light from the sky, from this borealis aurealis, if I'm not saying that right, where you can actually read a newspaper from it. It was in, you could see it in New York, you could see it in Melbourne, Australia. It was all over this earth. And lo and behold, not much after that, Hitler invaded Poland and World War II started. Now, something else, and this is another picture from the event, Fatima, October 13th, 1917. There's something else about this, too. And I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at it from another angle, too. One, she said that there was three secrets she wanted to reveal, and that they should not be revealed till after 1960. I tell you the truth, I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the Catholic Church. I don't think the secrets were revealed. But the fact that she said the secrets were to be revealed after 1960, because they'd be more obvious, it kind of coincides with something else. If you realize what happened in the 1960s, there was more of a cultural and social upheaval, a relaxing of moral standards, and also we even had Vatican II in Rome, where the Catholic Church basically changed many of its basic tenets. It tells you something right there. It tells you something right there. It's like, I don't think, but I understand probably in a roundabout way what the secret is. It's something about if mankind doesn't keep committing sins against the Lord. What happened the last time they were warned? They had World War II. Well, we might have World War III. And I'm thinking that, I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom here or something, but I'm telling you that if you look at what's going on in our culture, in our society, how, all the past cultural norms have been just like totally shaken at the roots in every single way. Like what was morally right before is now like, oh, you're just being a hater for this and you're being a hater for that and thinking a certain way. Well, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm going to tell you, I think Judgment Day is coming. And I'm thinking that 100 years that marks this event, October 13th, 2017, is going to be the start. Maybe it's not going to be a dramatic event on that particular day, but that's going to be the beginning of the end it'll be not the end, but I mean, it'll be Judgment Day for the freaking human race. There's no doubt about it. So I want to put this out here as a kind of a warning because, if you think this Fatima miracle is like a joke, it's not a joke. And I'm going to tell you this. I look pretty, I kind of looked into a lot of different religions. There's a lot of different points that are pretty cool about a lot of religions, right? And I would probably lean more towards Judaism more than anything. But except for one thing, and I'm telling you, even though I was raised Roman Catholic, it's not because they didn't even teach me all this stuff. I mean, I really dug into this Fatima deal a lot. I says, whoa, this has got to be legit. That is probably the main reason I would not switch over to Judaism, because I was like saying to myself, wow, this is just too mind-boggling not to believe. And it wasn't like they had a bunch of people that were religious that went there. There was a lot of people that went there that weren't religious, and after they went there, they became religious. But again, it's something else I want to hint at too. And, if you're thinking like I'm like supporting the current Pope or even the past Pope Benedict, no way in hell. And I'm going to tell you something else about that. What Mary, let's say, allegedly told Lucy, right? At that time, she was the only one that heard Mary. She said that the faith would be preserved, always preserved, in Portugal specifically. But that implies something else. That implies that the faith probably may not be preserved anywhere else. In other words, elsewhere in the world, it's going to be not the actual faith. It's going to be preserved, she's saying, specifically in Portugal. And, if I'm looking at New World Order Pope Francis, I'm saying to myself, at first I thought he was okay because he was going to drive in an old Volkswagen. And I was thinking, well, he's going to be humble for a change. Well, the guy is definitely not in with the program, the traditional Catholic Church, by any means. And the actual last Pope, Benedict, even though he liked cats, which is about the only plus I could say about him, he resigned for a lot of scandals. So, let me put it this way. This deal is coming down, and I'm beginning to wonder, like, if I'm looking at, say, for instance, we're talking about a lot of different angles. Right now everything doesn't look so bad. I mean, the stock market's coming down, but it's just going to be more than that. There's a lot of other stock markets in the world, but there's probably going to be a financial collapse by 2017. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe not a total financial collapse, but if you're looking at the highly respected Robert Shiller Index, we're on the verge of some major reset. And usually how that works in the situations we've been going on, the economies of the world for the last, since like 2007 and 2008, since the last global economic crisis, I can really lead to conclude, I'm tired, I'm sorry. I can conclude that, when you always have economic problems, a lot of times it leads to wars. And considering the type of weapons they got today, holy shit. So maybe judgment is coming down on mankind. Maybe it's not going to be exactly October 17th, 2017. But considering the repeat of history, and even how Mary specifically warned about, World War II coming about if mankind did not keep committing sins to offend the Lord. Well, by old traditional, actual Catholic way, the real old school way, the true way, the way before Vatican II, mankind is committing loads of sins. So, anyway, I just want to put this out as a video for you as a warning, and for those people that are not aware of Fatima. I'm not exactly, you could tell I'm not exactly religious, but there's some stuff I was like, I can't freaking disbelieve this. I can't disbelieve this. It's like, I have to figure, if this was a natural event, and these 3 kids predicted it, and it was a fluke of luck, that's a hell of a fluke of luck. Or, if it was Mary, and she came down and she was talking to these kids, and like one of them, only Lucy can hear her, and all 3 of them can see her. I'm thinking to myself, how the hell could that be? I mean, if it's not religious or spiritual, it's an alien or something, for crying out loud. I mean, what could it be? What could it be? I mean, if you don't believe this, you can't dismiss it, because it's something that was recorded in the modern era by thousands of people. I know sometimes they say 50,000 people were there, but there was at least 10,000 people there. Even if you put the low ballpark figure, nobody really knows. There was no exact head count. It's probably 20, 30,000 people or more. I mean, there's a huge crowd. I mean, it's going all the way back there. They all saw this, and they weren't religious zealots. Actually, at the time, Portugal was very secular. So, I don't know. I know there's going to be a lot of drama freaks out there trying to make money over freaking the end is coming, when I think there is going to be some real serious problems coming. But, yeah, maybe maybe it really is. I wouldn't be able to predict the exact. I take things, let me put it this way. I can conclude that by her saying, let me put it this way, this is like my logic, I'll repeat it again. She said that the secrets needed to be the third secret, which was that's what it was. The third secret would be best revealed after 1960, but because it would be more obvious. The way I look at it, I know they're going to say, people are going to say the third secret has already been revealed. I think they freaking hit it, or they twisted it around. What's obvious to me about the third secret is it had to be something about the cultural and societal total upheaval that happened in the 60s. That's why it would be more obvious. Had to be. I mean, if you got any sense about you, that's a given. And number 2, if she's telling you that the faith would be preserved in Portugal specifically, it's implying that the faith is not going to be preserved everywhere else, including Rome itself, with the Pope, which it already looks that way big time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the real church is the Catholic Church. But it's not, I don't want to make it a forced thing, or like, hey, you better do it or you're going to die. I'm just telling you, man, it's like this stuff is probably legit as all hell. I mean, it's not just because I was raised that way. To tell you the truth, I learned some of this stuff in school, but they didn't teach it that much. You know what I mean? They didn't really get down to it. Actually, I used to really got into this, and I said, this has got to be legit. Well, unless you figure that there was some kind of tricky alien that appeared to these kids and made this miracle happen. Okay? But then again, some tricky alien also probably created World War II. And maybe some tricky alien will create World War III. I don't think it's an alien, okay? I'm just saying that as, whatever. Okay? It's not a joke, though. I shouldn't joke about this shit, and I'm not one of those drama freaks that, screaming about the sky is falling, give me arms, like Harold Camping, $75 million later. I'm sure he's not freaking in heaven. Hate to say it, but it's true. So anyway, just give you some pause for thought, because I think on the 100th anniversary of Fatima, we're going to really see a really unraveling in the world. Because everything she said beforehand, it's not going to be a joke, man. It's not going to be a joke. As a matter of fact, maybe I won't even be able to talk to you or anything, or we'll lose all this communication capability because it wouldn't take much to knock out all our communications with an EMP if there's a start of any kind of major conflagration. So the fact that I'm getting it out here right now, you better think about it because it's probably not bullshit, all right? Just a warning. I don't, do what you want. Everybody's got a free will, right?